question with personal best, one of.
One of,
yeah, so for the guys who aren't familiar with yourselves, can you introduce yourself, your role in the band, and then founder of the band, I think, is it fair to say, and then the rest of the guys?
Yeah, so I'm Katie. I started the band in 2014, I think. We've had a few lineup changes. So at the moment we've got Jay on drums, Emily, who also plays in a really amazing band called Kumis, and then on bass we've got Ben, who is like filling in, but also, I mean, he's great. I want him to stay, hopefully, and he's in a bunch of great Bristol bands as well.
Okay,
so,
does that become quite sort of, in terms of trying to book gigs and trying to free up people to do that, must be quite hard to do?
It's like unless you get paid enough to like hire people, you know, it's kind of a thing that we and a lot of other sort of DIY lower level bands, it's kind of help each other out. Like I play bass in other bands sometimes, and like we have another bassist who sometimes play with us. So yeah, it's you know, everybody seems to be happy to be involved, and like it's just kind of like pay it
happy
forward
to be
thing.
Making and playing music, especially doing it live.
Yeah, and I think because it's so much less stressful when you're filling an instrumental spot in someone else's band, because I'm the organizer and I do all the like band mum stuff, all the stressful bit. So I hope they're having like a nice time and just get to play, which is the best bit about it, really.
So does that mean pre-gig, say you're running around because everybody's happy, everything's in place? Yeah,
and I just the driving and organising chatting to promoters and getting gigs and stuff is my job, which is fine because it's my responsibility. So yeah, I think they're having fun just being able to like turn up and play.
So you mentioned the band kind of formed in sort of 2013. There's been, you've mentioned in our correspondence that there's been a few lineup changes over the years. Have you been able to maintain a consistent sort of sound with those lineup changes, or has that developed and changed over the years as well?
Yeah, so originally it was just me and a drummer, and it was like a lot more scrappy, a lot more indie, I think. And like just like shorter songs, like more sort of basic structures, lots of like chordy guitar stuff. And of course when we got another guitarist in, then that frees each other up to be able to do more, so I can do like solos and stuff now. And so yeah, that definitely having another guitarist expanded the sound, because it meant that we could achieve more on stage and in the studio. And also when I was writing songs for the purpose of playing live, then it's easier to write more parts to like use.
You just got more options to play with.
Exactly. And I think because of that, it's developed into this very kind of a classic rock kind of sound as well, like two guitarists, bass and drums, which is for me kind of like the ideal.
We will come on to that actually, because I was going to say about the particular sound that you guys and image that you guys have. Mm-hmm. In terms of your strapline on your social media accounts. Who came up with that? So if you tell people what the strapline is and where that came from.
I describe our music as classic rock for tragic lesbians. Amazing. Which is, it was kind of, that was my partner actually came up with it. And she was like, we were trying to think how to like, sort of have all the visuals and the kind of like marketing stuff for the band, how to like kind of encompass and like how to like bring everything together into like one vision. And that's what she came up with. And there was even talk of calling the album that, but really? I think that was probably a bit much.
Too far.
A bit too far. So it's just kind of been. I think it kind of works because it's classic rock. It's a
great hook line. It really is.
And it's classic rock is always associated with kind of like dads and like these like old men and. Hopefully like bringing it up to date with the tragic lesbian bit. It's tongue-in-cheek as well, obviously.
It comes across.
It's supposed to make people smile, but also, I mean, that's what it is.
In terms of, we said about the sound of the band and your sort of influences and things like that, it does come across as having a really retro feel. From the video that you guys have released recently for Love Letter. The artwork, everything about it has that kind of sort of like something you've said before, Springsteen-esque 80s kind of vibe to it. So that was intentional,
Yeah, for sure. Like we really wanted the first video to be like a natural to like tie in with the album cover, which has got like this sort of retro rock kind of look. This sort of like hot pink. Like the vinyl pressing is like a hot pink vinyl as well. So yeah, we definitely wanted it to be like a very joined up aesthetic and a very joined up approach. But yeah, it's like it's none of this was my idea. It was my partner. She had the vision and she executed.
She's the creative.
She did the photography, editing. She did the video.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was amazing.
It seems to work really well, as I say, because it permeates through all the different levels.
Yes.
So you've got an image, you've got the artwork, the sound is there with the guitar solos and the riffs and the choruses and things like that. So
and also, I mean, some people think it's fully like we're not trying to be like fully ironic or like take the piss or like it's like clearly it's got those influences, but it's not a joke, do you know what I mean?
It's the vibe, it's where the influences come from, and that's what comes through.
I've seen some reviews that sort of think it's a bit of a like it's a bit jokey, and it's like I wish I had the money and time to spend on this for it being a big joke. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well,
who's got the time and money to do that?
It's not a retro 80s tribute act,
yeah,
is
exactly.
It? You were influenced by. I mean, names, who were your main influences? I know Heart you've mentioned.
Yeah, so definitely Heart. I think like another band that does something fairly similar is probably like Superchunk. So they have. They've got like a huge back catalogue, but they have like they're like a rock punk band with like. They're just like really great riffs, really great choruses. I think a bit of Lemonheads, because like a lot of the songs are very pop as well.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of women like Joan Armatrading, I think is underrated as like a classic rock performer. Like Drop the Pilot, huge like power pop hit. People like the Cars, like even like Blondie with the power pop.
Seems to be having a bit of a resurgence anyway, power pop at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It seems to. There's a couple of bands that I've interviewed up till now that you would have said were leaning towards the folk sort of sound, and they've changed their sound to more of a sort of electro pop kind of thing. So it does seem to be on an upward curve a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was June this year that the new album came out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which was What You At.
Yeah. It's a bit of a mouthful actually. I slightly.
Well, that's what I read the notes again. because I keep wanting to say where you at because I'm Bristolian. So it's the thing. Where are you at?
Yeah, it's just the album title that I wanted to have was already taken by a band called, I think it was Japandroids. So I wanted to call it Near to the Wild Heart.
Okay.
Which is track 6 on the record, because that's a really strong title. But Japandroids, I think in 2017 had a record out that was Near to the Wild Heart of Life, because it's from a novel.
Yeah.
So we clearly had the same idea, and they got in there first. And I was like, I don't want it to be.
That must be a kicker.
Yeah, it was a real shitter. But What You At, it's kind of like, it just means like where you at in life, what's going on, like what's the crack.
Was there a premise behind the album? Is it a compendium of songs that are all trying to make the listener go to one idea, or is it just individual tracks and that's the title of the track?
It has a very rough story arc behind it. Like it's not a concept album, obviously, but like I'd say like Just Friends, which is the opening, that's like very bittersweet, then it goes into like the big rock solo, so it's definitely like and then the beginning of the album I think has more of a like upbeat kind of like posy bittersweet vibe, and then the closing track is kind of a bit more bitter, a bit more like ending on a kind of plaintive note.
Okay.
And it kind of gets increasingly more cynical, I think, the record, as it goes
I was listening to it most of the day today, and with the video, I think Love Letter is probably my favourite, but I like Radio as well. What's your personal favourite? So is there one, or is it just the whole thing?
So I think, in terms of what we... two answers. My favourite like to play, and like just because it's got some great hooks in, is probably Every Day She Kills Me, and that's just so much fun. But in terms of what we managed to achieve in the studio, probably Near to the Wild Heart, which has got organ in, it's got really long solo at the end, and that was hard to practice. And I was like, we basically have to wait till we're in the studio to bring it all together, and I'm glad it worked, and there's a bit of an epic, and we've got trumpet on it, which is like good fun.
Is that what you brought the trumpet along the scene?
No. That's my friend Danny Lester. He's from Newcastle, but he lives in London, so he came and did that for the day. But I mean, maybe when we're rich and famous enough, I can afford to
buy a trumpet.
to buy a trumpet player. Yeah.
And the just going back on the discography, the debut album was sort of reading through the information about you guys, and it was like, I know that name, Honest Fell.
Yeah,
which is about 3 miles away from where I actually live. But obviously, you've mentioned that you're from South Wales. Where did Honest Fell come from? Did you tie to the area, or?
No, I mean, I've lived in Bristol for a few years, and my family moved here a few years before that. Honestly, I just thought it sounded cool.
It is, yeah. It's cool.
And there's no other meaning behind that album title other than like, that sounds like a cool place. Okay. And I hadn't actually been there even until recently.
Really?
I went there for a wedding. It was the first time I've actually been down this Vale. So the secret's out.
Yeah, that's
I'm a dancer.
If people don't catch you in Bristol this evening, there are other opportunities to catch you. You're not officially on tour with the album, are you? Or
no, like we've
got a couple of dates coming up.
We had a short run of sort of album release stuff in June. We've got the rest of the week with Leggy, which is Cardiff tomorrow, and then we're playing a festival on Saturday. There's nothing in the calendar for the rest of the year apart from probably a European tour.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we'll start booking stuff in as soon as it comes. We've got to, need to sell these records. We've got a lot of them.
Organising a European tour in the midst of Brexit must be quite fun at the moment, causing a few headaches.
Yeah, I mean, musicians, we have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, our tour's booked for November, so who the fuck knows where we're going to be? I mean, if they start trying to make us have work visas or something, we will have to cancel the tour. We could never afford that, or take the risk of doing it on the slide.
It's the crazy little things that people haven't considered.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we won't touch politics.
Let's not get into that.
And for the next, looking further ahead, for the next sort of 12 months, what's in the calendar? What's planned?
So the album was released on Dovetown covered the UK stuff, and then Sheer Luck, which is a relatively new US label. So they're trying to sort us out a tour for probably spring in the US, because we've never toured. They've played a few gigs, but not like a proper tour. And they're trying to find like a good fit for us. So yeah, a US tour, which is something that's definitely been on the sort of band bucket list.
Just follow Leggy back.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Cincinnati.
I mean, we're definitely. I'm almost positive we will play a gig with them in America at some point. And just like we'll probably do another UK stint and another European stint. But you never know what's going to happen. Like, people have lives outside of the band.
Yeah.
It's obviously it means a lot to me and it's my baby. But it's just a band. Yeah. It's just a band.
It's still one big adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is better than a normal 9 to 5, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you for your time. Have a great show this evening.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to speak to you.